Good evening, everyone. If you could take your seats in a few moments, and we'll have a few opening remarks. Once again, everyone, welcome. Welcome back to Marion Harding High School. If you're coming from a long distance away, we're happy and thrilled to see everyone that made it back to Marion Harding High School for tonight's ceremony. It's great to see so many familiar faces that have made this place such a wonderful institution over the years. Thank you, everybody, for traveling, all your friends and family that made the trip as well. We're looking forward to a fantastic evening in which we will celebrate 6 new members of our Athletic Hall of Fame. At this time, I would like to introduce the Hall of Fame Committee President, Mr. David Gorenflow.
Well, let me be the first to congratulate an exceptional class of athletes. It was a tough decision. There were lots of very, very talented people, and this is a tremendously talented group of young people that we're going to honor this evening. I'm wearing 2 hats this evening. I'm also a member of a committee that has taken on kind of the daunting task of raising $250,000 to name the gym at Ohio State Marion after Greg Swepston. Greg Swepston was my baseball coach here at Harding. He was a basketball coach at Harding. He was the athletic director here and was inducted into this Hall of Fame in 2004. And we've got a number of different things that we're doing to help raise money for that. 3 things I'm going to share with you tonight that we'd encourage you to participate in if you can. Number 1, we're just doing a 50-50 raffle tonight. $1 a ticket, 6 tickets for $5, and you take home half of the pot this evening. Gentlemen are out in the lobby and have all that set up, and would encourage you to do that maybe while you're waiting to get in line to get your food. When the program starts, the sale of those tickets will end. Second thing is we have started a project for donations, and there's information there at the table that you can pick up to give you all the information you need about the ways that you can donate. Any amount will be helpful. We're making good progress toward this. It's a pretty ambitious goal. We've got a long ways to go, but if you're interested in that, you can find out ways to donate. And then the third thing is to supplement the donation process. We've decided to do some fundraising. The raffle is one of the things that we decided upon. The second one is because of his love for baseball, we are going to sponsor, we hope what will be the first annual Greg Swepston Memorial Baseball Softball Clinic for young people. We're going to have some big names come in and help us out. John Courtwright, who's a member of this Hall of Fame, pitched with the Cincinnati Reds, is going to come back. One of my classmates, Harry Fry, who was drafted by the Cleveland Indians right out of high school, will be participating. We've got area coaches. Brett McQueary, the softball coach here, will be helping with the softball portion of the camp. Jeff Bolander will be here also, the head baseball coach. And we've got a number of other people that we think will make this a very special day for young people. It's only going to be $30. It's a 3-hour camp on June 7th. There are brochures and flyers, again, out on the table that you can pick up with information about how you can get registered for that camp and that clinic. So, thank you very much.
I know most of you in the room tonight. I didn't introduce myself. If you don't know who I am the athletic director here at Harding High School. My name is Sean Kearns. We have 2 of our student athletes that are going to make some opening remarks here as well tonight. The first one I'd like to introduce to you is Harding senior student athlete Brielle Stone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harding's 30th Hall of Fame induction. My name is Brielle Stone. I'm a member of Varsity H Leadership Council and have also participated in soccer, basketball, and softball here at Harding. I want to first thank you all for being here tonight. Each and every one of you have shown the greatness that Harding is capable of. No matter how many people discredit Harding or look down upon it, there will always be people like you. You have not only proven that great athletes come from Harding, but that great people do as well. My fellow members of Varsity H and myself are incredibly grateful that we have wonderful people like you all to look up to. We admire your hard work and all of your accomplishments. We aspire to be like you and all hope to be one day sitting in similar positions as you. Many of you have even went beyond your legacy as athletes here at Harding by doing things such as coming back to volunteer or coach. You have consistently given your all to this school and to the younger generations to come. You could have simply stopped after creating your own legacy, but you didn't. You're here tonight because the Prexy pride still lives within you all. We thank you for your time and dedication to our beloved school and for being here tonight. Congratulations on all your accomplishments. We wish you all nothing but the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Brielle. Great job. And now we have another Harding senior student athlete, Mr. Jacob Bischler.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Bischler. I started my high school career playing basketball and golf, and the last 2 years I have tried my hand at bowling. Last season, I was the MOAC Golfer of the Year, and I received the Fahey Athlete of the Month award for September. I am the treasurer of Varsity H Leadership Council and the treasurer of National Honor Society. Now that you know who I am, I would like to talk about our inductees. While I may not know all of you personally, I sincerely congratulate you on all your accomplishments, whether in athletics, through your career, or service to the community. Our inductees tonight are not just being honored for their achievements. They are being honored because they have set an example for people like me and everyone else in this room to follow. In 7th grade, I moved to Marion City Schools. One of our inductees tonight, Dyer, was my basketball coach that year. He may have made me a better player, but he also made me a better person. At the time, he had a profound influence on my life and was the first person to show me how accepting of a culture we have here at Marion City Schools. I believe that Coach Dyer's example can be one that we all should aspire to live up to. It doesn't matter what position we hold in our career or what stage of life we are in, there's nothing wrong with putting in extra effort to make a difference in other people's lives. There is no doubt in my mind that the other individuals being honored tonight have had the same impact on others. They may be honored tonight because of their athletic excellence, but we should also stress who they are as a person. The individuals being recognized tonight are an example that I and all the other students in Marion City Schools can look up to. On behalf of Harding High School and the great community that surrounds us, we wish you the best in your future endeavors, and thank you for being an example for us all.
Thank you, Jacob. At this time, before we get ready to eat, I would like to invite Pastor William Harris up for tonight's invocation. He is here on behalf of Kingdom Culture Ministries.
Praise the Lord. Let us pray. Kind Father, we thank you. We take time out to give you honor and acknowledge your existence, that you are our source. You have given us gifts and leadership and leaders and even more leaders. Those that have sacrificed through the lives that they have lived, pouring into others. We thank you, Father, for honor. Honor gets you access. Those that are inducted tonight gave honor to leadership, administrators, teachers and friends and parents and communities. We thank you that their lives continue to be a blessing, that their lives would speak with actions that speak louder than words. It is supernatural what has transpired. They have gone all over the world because of others who sacrificed, pouring into their lives. The names that aren't on the billboard, the names of teammates that just cheered you on. No man is an island by himself, but you gave honor to those that were speaking into your lives. We pray that you would continue to be a blessing. As examples, some of you are pioneers, trailblazers. Wherever you go, carry the spirit of Marion Harding High School. Carry the spirit of the community where you were raised. We ask and pray for the family of Coach Mack and all that he did in the community and in the school. Those that have sacrificed over the years. So we take time out, not just to honor those being inducted into the Hall of Fame, but every person that has been involved, everyone that has sacrificed, everyone that has prayed, called on your name, doing for others. We pray as this continues to go forward that we all would live a life that gives honor. We thank you, Father, in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Harris. Before we eat here, I just have a couple small instructions. Obviously, the food is over here. We would ask you to bring your ticket with you and present that at the end of the table before you get your meal. We will release you table by table to keep it somewhat orderly. We really appreciate the dinner here this evening. It looks tremendous and smells tremendous, so enjoy your food, and we'll have you released here in just a moment. So thank you. Good evening, everyone, once again. Welcome again to Harding High School and the 30th induction ceremony of our prestigious Hall of Fame. Tonight we will enshrine 6 new members. They are Heidi Clark Bennett, Sean Dyer, Shantae Dyer, Brene Harris, Sarah Woodrum, and we also give special recognition to Scott McQueary for his profound contributions to athletics at Marion Harding. Before we get officially started, I want to make sure I remind everyone that afterwards we're going to head over to Cooper's Bowl for a little after party, a little bit of an extra opportunity to reminisce and share old memories. And they have a great place there on the south end that they've just added. It's a really nice gathering place for us this evening. Just a little history of the Harding Hall of Fame. The Athletic Hall of Fame was started way back in 1982 with the inaugural class, and with tonight's class will total 153 members. Each new class is diligently researched and examined by the 23-member Hall of Fame committee before a final vote is taken to determine the members of each class. The members of the Hall of Fame committee are here tonight. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce them at this time. Carol Bebout, Larry Gessler, Dick Henry, Dave Gorenflow, Jesse Hines, Thaddeus Carter, Cheryl Huffman, Sean Kearns, Marcia Pitts, Bob Putman, Jeff Ruth, Willie King, Gary Williams, Rob McCurdy, Mike Lindsay, Tony Tyler, Brett McQueary, Jennifer Sheridan, Olivia Davis, Robin Eisen, and Rose Cunningham. Thank you to the committee for all your time and hard work in selecting a fantastic class for induction tonight and for all your efforts in preparing tonight's event. Would also like to thank my athletic secretary, Kendra Carter, for all of her efforts. If you might have spoken to her on the phone in regard to tickets or anything about tonight's ceremony, her work behind the scenes is remarkable, and I really like to thank her. Also, our Varsity H members here this evening, you saw them in the dinner lines. They've helped with cleanup. They obviously made a couple of great speeches here earlier this evening. I'd like to thank the Varsity H members that helped us out tonight. Thanks, guys. I'd also like to recognize we have a few existing Hall of Famers here with us this evening. We have Taylor McCurdy White, we have Cheryl Huffman, Robin Eisen, and Dick Brown. Did I miss anyone out there? And I'd also like to take briefly a moment of silence in memory of all the Hall of Fame members who have passed on. Thank you. And after the ceremony this evening, I'd like to invite you to take a walk down to the Hall of Fame. If you haven't already, see the display we have across in the trophy case. We've also made some additions to our Hall of Records in the athletic wing, 1,000-point boards, top 20s for cross country, many record boards for many of our sports. We've also added signs in the gym. The gym's open for you to walk around. And we also are always looking to add, if you have ideas or an interest in a particular sport, come and see us, and we'll help facilitate that process. A few things before we get started with our individual inductions this evening. Each one of the members of the Hall of Fame will receive not only their picture and plaque on the wall down there and live in infamy in the halls of Harding High School, they also get a small plaque to take home. They also get a lifetime pass to all Harding athletic events. They also get a Hall of Fame pullover. And it might not surprise you in the audience tonight that all 5 of these inductees were former Fahey Athletes of the Month. Martin Hughes came this evening with Amber from Fahey Bank, and they made sure that they got updated versions of Fahey Athlete of the Month sweatshirts. So thank you, Martin and Fahey Bank, for your support of Marion County athletes for over 40 years. And now, without further ado, I'd like to start with the Hall of Fame inductions. Up first tonight, I would like to introduce Mr. Steve Clark, who is presenting Heidi Clark.
Good evening. I think it's probably every coach's ultimate moment to be standing up here with the opportunity to induct one of your former athletes into the Harding Hall of Fame. I have had the fortune to be up here twice previously, as this marks the third of my swimmers to gain this honor. Heidi wasn't only a swimmer, but an outstanding runner in cross country and track. While she was here, she won 12 varsity letters. Her name is still second on the cross country board. Still on the swimming record board for relays, Heidi was a multiple-year regional qualifier in track and cross country. She qualified for the maximum number of events at the Central District Swimming Championships for each of her 4 years. She was an excellent distance runner for the track team, was also one of the first women to pole vault at Harding. It's especially exciting for me because this honoree is my daughter, Heidi Bennett, who has followed her brother into the hall. I know that she probably would have had Ed be her presenter if Ed were still with us. Ed Henning is one of her favorite people. I'm not going to focus the bulk of my presentation on Heidi's many accomplishments. Her bio is in the folder, and you can see that. But there are a few things that stand out. Heidi was a conference swimming championship in the Ohio Heartland Conference. She was part of winning 4 events as conference champion. She shared the Women's Swimmer of the Year award with her friend and teammate Sarah Smith in 2001-2002. Heidi was named by the National Interscholastic Swimming Coaches Association as an academic All-American, an honor that is given to less than 1% of all the high school swimming athletes. In cross country, she was a regional qualifier, first team all-conference. But at the beginning, she started her career at about 3 years old with Coach Ted Temple and his wife Marlene swimming at the Marion YMCA. We were at a meet out of town, and the pool was set up in such a way that they had a lane line to break the wash coming back from the wall. Well, she was so small that she wanted to swim next to the wall in between that little wash area, but it wasn't really a lane, it was just a gap. So she looked at Coach Temple with those 3-year-old eyes and convinced Coach and the referee to let her try it. So she had another referee experience too up in, I think it was in Findlay. We were at an outdoor meet up there, and the referee called the swimmers up to the block, fired the gun to start the race, and Heidi started to cry. The gun scared her, but the referee was an awesome guy. He put her up in the next heat, and he said, "Honey, I'm going to blow a whistle to start this one." So she got to swim in her race. But Heidi was always a competitor, even as a young child. She and her mom would go out and practice running, Mom on a bike and Heidi in running shoes. She competed in lots of road races and she never wanted to get buried in the back of the pack, always choosing to try to run with the adults up front. Once at a meet in Columbus, we had a man come up to us after the race. He said to Bev and I that I tried to talk to your daughter out there because she was running so well and I wanted to give her a compliment, but as soon as I started to talk to her, she took off like a rocket. So when Heidi got back, I said, "What was the deal with that man?" She said, "You told us never to talk to strangers." I didn't know who he was, so she took off. She loved her teammates. We have some pretty funny pictures of them at track meets, cross-country races, and swim meets. At the Central District Championships for swimming at Ohio State, I saw my girls' team all staring at a boy on the blocks getting ready to swim the 50 freestyle. When I looked, it was Bobby Carpenter, a future star linebacker for Ohio State, whose mom was a swim coach. I asked my athletes to stay focused, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted them to focus on. We as coaches often talk about the extraneous benefits of athletics. You know, there's time management, leadership, fair play, unity, perseverance, and lifelong enjoyment of the sport. That's what I see in Heidi and the other athletes and coaches that are being honored here tonight. They're winners, not just in sport, but they carry those attributes with them in life. Sorry. She was also valedictorian of her class here at Harding. Heidi had lots of opportunities to continue her athletics after high school, but Heidi chose to follow the love of her life to the University of North Dakota. I know she loved him because it was 40 degrees below zero there. Heidi enrolled in the Fisheries and Wildlife Biology class, which is a 4-year course, but she managed to convince her school that she could complete it in just 2 years, which she did. She wanted to follow Luke when he got commissioned in the Air Force. In addition to college, both she and Luke worked part-time in a hardware and sporting goods store. Luke got stationed in Florida, and Heidi took a position with the Florida Wildlife Commission. She worked with endangered gopher tortoises. Sounds fairly safe, except that she managed to tell me that rattlesnakes commonly are found in the gopher tortoise burrows. And she called and she said, "Hey, I need to buy a pair of snake boots." Now there's a call every dad wants to get. She also sent me a picture of her sitting on a tranquilized bear that they were relocating. She was also in charge of checking duck nesting boxes, which again sounds pretty mild, except water moccasins get in there to eat the eggs. I was beginning to think that maybe working at McDonald's might be a good, safer bet for her as she grew up, but that's not what she did. She was outstanding at her job. She made lifelong friends, lots of good memories. Heidi and Luke have 4 wonderful children: Aurelia, who's soon be 15, Hayden, who just turned 12, Bridger, who's 5, and Riker, who's 4. Heidi is a classroom aide currently working with a young boy who has handicaps. She's a great mom and a great wife. She's now running her children to and from practices, and I'm really proud of what she has become. Thank you, Heidi.
And now, Heidi Clark.
Okay. Well, I'd like to start off the evening by extending a congratulations to everyone being honored here tonight. I'd also like to thank the committee for my selection. I want to thank my family, my 4 children, Riker, Bridger, Hayden, and Aurelia, for coming to support me here tonight. Thank you to my amazing husband who rushed here from drill duty to share this experience with me. I love you all. I'd like to thank my brother Jeremy, who couldn't be here tonight. He and I were fortunate enough to participate in many of the same sports as kids. So where some families spend every weekend dividing and conquering, we had the privilege of spending hours upon hours together, be it at practice, in the car, on long weekends, at meets. We were together. As you can imagine, spending this kind of time with your sibling creates a special bond. As a kid, he was everything I looked up to, but somehow he was always my biggest cheerleader, and for that I am forever grateful. In addition, I want to thank those people probably most responsible for my success, my mom and dad. From the very beginning, they instilled the value of hard work and dedication in me and supported me beyond measure. They made countless drives to practices, sent me all over the country for camps, sacrificed so many weekends to sporting events, and even rode a bike at a painfully slow pace for miles upon miles. They did it all. You always think you understand what parents do to make your athletics possible, but you don't have a true appreciation until you're a parent yourself. I can only hope I am able to provide my children with the same support and love that was given to me. When I was reflecting back on my time here at Harding, the things I remembered most weren't the races won or the records broken. It was the fun times with my teammates. For that, I'd like to thank all of the teammates I had over the years. Our teammates are what make the memories. We drive each other to be better while being the support system that we each need. These lifelong friendships are forged through blood, sweat, tears, laughter, and celebrations. I owe much of my successes to their support. During my time here at Harding, my athletic career was tried by various hardships on several occasions. I wouldn't be recognized here tonight if it weren't for the coaches that were there and supported me through it all. From learning a brand new sport to overcoming numerous injuries and even dealing with the loss of a teammate, these hardships and the coaches that mentored me through them had bigger impacts on my life than I could have ever imagined. But each one served a purpose and shaped me into the person that I am today. I especially want to thank those coaches that focused on building my character and those who believed in me when sometimes I didn't even believe in myself. From Ted Temple bribing me to swim with all those stickers years ago, to Alan Koheiser to introducing me to the sport of running. Coach Bohanna was always making me laugh for no particular reason at all, and he always liked to share his Devil's Lake fishing stories with me. I had a deep appreciation for Coach Sykes' brutal honesty and for always telling me just like it was. Coach Pitts taught me how fun it was to strategically run my 2-mile on the track, and she liked to remind me that if I was singing while running my repeats, I definitely wasn't running them hard enough. Thank you to Mr. Curtis, my middle school cross-country coach and FCA leader, whose words always had a way of calming my nerves and bringing out my very best performances. He reminded me before every single meet that it didn't matter to him if I won the race that day. It only mattered that I was going home a great person. Then there's Coach Henning, the big tough guy who was really more like a giant teddy bear. He always knew the perfect mix of serious and fun to get the greatest productivity out of his athletes. He was always good for one of those giant hugs when I needed them, and even an occasional dog bark. I'm still not entirely sure what those were, but they always made me smile. Coach Henning felt like my protector at times and really kept me going. He brought fun to a sport that had sometimes become anything but. He had a real knack for making me laugh. One time, he wanted to race me on the adjacent elliptical when I was nursing an injury, and another time he rolled into the pole vault pit and just pretended like he couldn't get out. Then there was another day, it was windy, and the crossbar fell smack on my nose, and I was bleeding from everywhere, my nose, my mouth. But all he could do was look at me and tell me how tough I looked, which again made me laugh. One of my fondest memories, though, had to be the time that he confessed to me that sometimes he liked to pretend to fish on his Lake Erie boat. I didn't really understand what he meant, he liked to pretend to fish. He said he wasn't even putting any bait on his line. He explained that if his line was in the water, he could take a nap undisturbed. Still, makes me laugh. He was truly one of a kind and touched countless lives. I'm so thankful each and every day I had the privilege to be one of his athletes. That leaves me with one coach I haven't thanked yet, and that's my dad. There were many times during my high school career that I took having my dad as my coach for granted. I was a teenager, and he was my dad. That's probably enough said. After my swims, he always started his coaching session off with what I did right during my race. Then he would finish up with 2 things I could improve upon. At the time, I couldn't understand this, and quite frankly was frequently annoyed. If I had a bad swim, I just wanted him to look at me and say, "That was crap." But that was never his style. It wasn't until much later in life that I realized this philosophy of his was one of the reasons he was such an amazing coach. He wasn't just teaching me how to improve my swims, he was teaching me how to find the good in any situation, how to focus on the positive when it wasn't so easy to find. My dad possessed another amazing talent. He could turn what most considered an individual sport and make it into the most dynamic team atmosphere around. He instilled a deep sense of team and created a second family for us all. He taught us that great teams work together and optimize everyone's individual performances. By doing this, we were not just successful, but we had fun. I'm so grateful for those years. I hold dear everything my dad taught me and the priceless memories with him that I can cherish forever. So in closing, I want to thank you all for this amazing experience. I hope all the young athletes, and even us adults that are still chasing dreams and goals, that we never let your pursuit of greatness overshadow your love for your sport. At the end of the day, records are meant to be broken. Trophies will be tucked away, but those life lessons will always remain. Back when I was being confirmed in church, I had to choose a verse that was meaningful to me. The one I chose has stuck with me to this day and sums up the most important aspects of what I took from my athletic career here as a president. So I will conclude with this. Do you not know that all the runners in a race run after the same prize? Run in such a way as to receive that prize. Thank you very much.
Heidi Clark Bennett, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Corey McDuffie, who will introduce Sean Dyer.
There's a lot of words up here and stuff going on. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I introduce my brother, there's a couple things I want to do. I want to congratulate all the inductees and their family. You are well deserving of the honor. Congrats. Secondly, I got to thank my mom, Tara McDyer. She's the true Hall of Famer, and I'm sure Shantae feel the same way. Also, there's only one other person that I know deserving of an honor like this, and that person was born 1 minute before Sean, and that's Shantae. So congrats, sister, I love you. So I didn't want to come up here and spit a bunch of stats and talk about the great teams and seasons Sean was a part of and had. I didn't want to recite his long list of individual awards he received throughout his career. It's only fitting that being part of a sports family and being in attendance at numerous games, open gyms, and training sessions, I want to speak about witnessing things that stuck with me from an athletic perspective, not so much as a brother or a fan. There's been a lot of times in Sean's life that I've personally witnessed something that instantly let me know he was destined for great things. These times I'm going to tell you about really stick with me, though. So the first time, Sean couldn't have been older than about 7 or 8. And as I was leaving our babysitters, the Twines, Sean and Isaiah were playing basketball on the back porch on like a toy hoop under the lights. So it struck me as odd because these two, they could be doing anything. As kids, riding bikes, playing with action figures. Obviously, this was before technology. So not only that, though, these two were going at it. Like, they were the best of friends, but they were competing. And I knew that love of competition, and I recognized it because that was me at that age. So it kind of struck me and always kind of stuck with me as I got older. The other time that sticks out to me personally is the 2010 21-2 season tournament game versus the infamous Mansfield Senior, the only team who, in my time at Harding, we never beat. Even though, Evan, where you at, we never really beat anybody, so we'll not really talk about that. But during the game, Sean was poised, not rushed, just letting the game come to him, dissecting the game one play at a time. I'm not gonna lie, there were moments where the big brother in me wanted him to take over the game. Basically, just take the team and put them on their back and lead them to victory. Even though they ended up losing the game, I christened him as the mini LeBron, because that's the type of player he is. No one is bigger than the team, and Sean personified that in one of the biggest games in Harding boys basketball history. Being coachable, along with the maturity he showed on the court at that age, spoke volumes to me. I knew that he was more than ready for the next level. Sean went on to play at West Lib, my alma mater, and eventually transferred to IUP and played in a lot of games throughout his career. I know for a fact Sean was a key piece in the success of both of those programs, especially at West Lib, because all my former teammates who frequented the games would always call me or text me and tell me he's better than you. I could go on and on as Sean as a basketball player, but he's equally as great a father, brother, and uncle. Sean is all about family. His love and care for our family are always present, and I'm especially grateful for the things he's done for my kids as well, from rides to babysitting, gifts, just constantly being present. Sean definitely personifies the motto, whatever it takes. He's always trying to be better today than he was yesterday in all facets of his life. From helping youth and adults achieve their fitness and athletic goals to instilling the same mindset, love, and compassion into his son, Jerron. So a question I get asked a lot, not as much as I used to, who's the best basketball player in our family? My answer is simple. Shantae is the most successful and accomplished basketball player in our family. Sean is the most cerebral and complete basketball player in our family. And me, well, I'm the best shooter and scorer. Don't at me. All jokes aside, I'm super proud of my brother and sister. I'm extremely grateful to have my kids have two of the best aunts and an uncle like Sean to look up to as role models. With that being said, it gives me great fulfillment and pride to introduce my little brother, Sean Dyer.
I appreciate that, Corey. I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who was able to take time out their busy evening and come in and join us this evening. I'd like to thank Dave and the Hall of Fame Athletic Committee for inducting me this evening. It means a lot to me being recognized, being acknowledged about making an impact for the boys' basketball program here. And I certainly couldn't have done it without my amazing teammates and my amazing coaches. My congratulations goes out to the class of 2023. You guys represent the best of the best. Intelligence, bravery, ultimate competitiveness, persistence. You guys made school fun. You made going to the practices fun. You made watching sports fun and had a lot of pride in doing that. So thank you to the class of 2023. When I think of all the people who were instrumental in my achievements, there are so many people to thank. I want to start by expressing my gratitude to my sister, Janae, who is up here with us tonight. The best big sister a boy could have is Janae. Unconditional support, love, friendship, caring, always insistent on doing the right things, and someone I've counted on throughout all these years for insights. I remember when I was younger, Janae even took a whooping for me. So when I talk about team player, she is really the team player. A lot of it was behind the scenes, but one thing I know for sure is that she always showed up and made a major impact for me. I'm not standing here today accepting this award if it wasn't for my MVP, Dyer. I'll forever be grateful, especially for those goodie bags after the games, but more importantly, the time that you gave your little brother. Thank you again, Janae. My first buddy, Isaiah Twine, who is here tonight. Countless hours spent on the Fisher-Price hoop that my brother alluded to out back on St. James. I mean, there was even one summer where we went to the YMCA every single day. We would take that stroll past Food Town, go to the Y, play basketball, swim, play basketball some more, and head back to St. James and get back on that Fisher-Price hoop. Me, you, and Brian, there was nothing like the big three. I mean, there were times we would even bamboozle the front desk security and saying our money got stuck in the vending machine because we got tired of sharing one pop and one bag of chips on the way home. Growing up together, those bonds and friendship run deeply, which brings me to his parents, Jackie Twine and Albert Twine. They took me in like I was one of their own. Jackie was my babysitter, and I was fortunate enough when I got to a certain age that I didn't have to be with the others. I would either wait for Isaiah to get home, or I'd be already in his room waiting on him. Jackie made me feel special. Corey, my older brother, my idol. Corey scored 60 points in the game, and everybody thinks it's some big deal. I don't get it. Ironically, I missed that game because I was at Isaiah's birthday party. But I didn't score 60 points in the game, but you being there for me and you showing me and paving the way, it really means a lot to me as your younger brother. And a lot of people don't know that if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to reach the success that I had in college. Thank you for installing the supreme confidence in me. Ever since I was the water boy for your high school team, I wanted to be like you. That nice lefty shot, that swag, posters on your wall, East Bay magazines, the whole nine. So I thank you for that. Again, thank you for paving the way, leading the way for your little brother. My mom, my number one supporter. I'm not standing up here if it wasn't for the many great things that you installed in me at a young age. The first thing was you're a student first and you're an athlete second. Although I may have disagreed with you, I still was able to execute the many great things that you installed in me. Thank you for all the time, all the traveling, all the events, but more importantly, thank you for the attention and energy that you gave me. Shantae, my twin sister. Though people came to watch me sometimes, I really think they came to watch her. I mean, she was box office. Day in and day out when we got to freshman or sophomore year, Shantae would get letters on letters from universities all around the world. I'm sitting there in awe, reciting to Shantae that she could go out west to USC or play at UCLA or go all the way to Connecticut and be a Husky. And if you know Shantae, she didn't know a lot about sports. But that's what I was there for. I kind of scold her to this day that she didn't tell Louisville it was supposed to be a package deal. But Shantae was always there for me. The memories, the bond, someone I could go to after a game or, even after a long day at school. Shantae was always there for me, and I appreciate that. We didn't play as much as you would think. Like I said, a lot of people would come up to me and they would realize that I'm a twin, and I would tell them, they'd be like, oh, Shantae? And then the $1 million question that would come next is, can you beat her one-on-one? Or who's better? Personally, the pecking order doesn't really matter to me. I wasn't even the best in my family. But to have these two wonderful athletes and human beings leading the way for me, it's remarkable, and it doesn't go unnoticed. But, just for the record, we did play one-on-one because I got tired of people thinking she was better than me. One evening, I told Shantae, hey, we gotta go settle this. So we go outside, and needless to say, I come out victorious, and I reminded Shantae by writing the series on her wall. Even though that was just a game, I'm grateful for you always being by my side, Shantae. Coach Andrew Dill, my first basketball coach, taught me how to pass, dribble, and shoot, and laid a solid foundation for me on how to play basketball the right way. Coach Barry Egan, Coach Brian McCants, Coach Jerry, who's here in attendance tonight. What a hell of a season we had with that 21 season. We couldn't have reached the success without the chemistry that we had with our teammates, without the hard work, without the teachers, the community believing in us. My teammates, just to name a few, Corey White, Jacob White, Marvin, Shaq, Prude, Lace, you guys were incredible. If we weren't at the rec playing open gym, we were at practice trying to be better. So I appreciate you guys. Ms. Bebout, very instrumental in my high school career, pushed me and challenged me and was always there for me. My 7th grade science teacher, Miss Schertzer, sorry. When I was in high school, I struggled with testing, and we had to pass the OGT to graduate, and she was one teacher that really believed in me and really gave me the confidence to do what I needed to do to pass that test. So thank you, Ms. Schertzer. I'd like to dedicate this speech to all the athletes that I've had the pleasure to work with, train with, mentor, coach, practice with, play with. To my son, Jerron, I want to tell you guys to continue to put in the work, put in the hours, continue to do whatever it takes. But more importantly, don't be afraid to take your shot when it's ready. Remember, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So when your number is called, trust yourself, trust all the work that you've done, and shoot your shot. Again, thank you guys. Good night.
Dyer, welcome. Sean Dyer, welcome to the Hall of Fame. And now I'd like to introduce Janae Dyer, who will present for Shantae Dyer.
Hello. Should have had my speech pulled up by now. Good evening. It is such an honor to be here tonight and celebrate the amazing additions to the Marion Harding Hall of Fame. I have the privilege of being the big sister to 2 of those honorees. While I'm overly excited for both Sean and Shantae, I get the honor to present my favorite sister with this award. From a very young age, I knew Shantae was destined for greatness. I know, everyone says that, but I truly mean it. The smile on her face when she would come home from the end of the year at the field days to show us how many first place ribbons she won only proved me correct year after year. This is when the competition started to become very real between the twins. Shantae won the very first competition between the siblings, though, by beating Sean into this world by 1 minute. From then on, everything else was a race for my sister. Instead of playing with my Barbies and I, my sister insisted on playing on any type of sports with my brother and his friends. Trust me, there were numerous times where people tried to correct her and tell her she couldn't play with the boys, but she insisted. One time I remember we were all at the park, and we were, of course, following Corey around, and my mom told my sister not to go over there and play with the boys, and my sister insisted on covering herself with dirt because that's what Sean did. The car ride home was horrible. The amount of pantyhose and stockings my sister ruined were endless. From then on, I knew my sister would excel in anything she put her mind to. At one point in the twins' high school career, I would bet money that Sean could easily beat Shantae. But as the years progressed, my mind changed, and I would 1,000% place money on my sister. Shantae, I am so extremely proud of you, and you are so deserving of this honor. Marion Harding High School is fortunate to have you amongst their Hall of Fame. Preston and Price are blessed to have you as a role model and a godmom. And my family is so lucky to participate in the celebration with you. Congratulations. It's an honor to introduce to you guys my amazing baby sister, Shantae.
Move the mic up. Go. Okay. First of all, congratulations to everyone that's sitting at this table. It's an honor just to be welcomed into the Hall of Fame of 2023 with you guys. I think my siblings try to outdo me on their speeches, but you guys did a good job. So. I just want to start off by saying good evening, everyone. I want to thank the Marion Harding High School Athletics Program for honoring me at such a prestigious ceremony. Special thank you to the Marion Harding Hall of Fame Committee for helping me reach a period where I can proudly hold this award as a mark of my achievement. I am very humbled and grateful to be standing in this room aside some of the best former athletes and supporters in the Marion community. What an absolute privilege it is to be added to the Marion Harding High School Athletic Hall of Fame. I am overwhelmed with gratitude, and God is so good to me. Winning this award would not have been possible without the inspiration I have received from my family, my mom, Tara, who has been by my side through every trial and tribulation. You are the prime reason for all of my successes, and you spoke this award into existence, and I love you for that. My sister, Janae, who has been my biggest fan in every chapter of my life. And my brothers, Sean and Corey, who obviously helped me develop my love for basketball. Thank you all. I have the best support system, for whom I have the deepest respect and from whom I have derived the strength to challenge myself and perform better at each stage in my life. So thank you, family, for being here on this special day. I remember when I used to walk into Harding and be so proud looking at all the banners and trophies from the previous years hanging in the gymnasium. Although those banners don't hang forever, this night has been such a special reminder of how amazing those high school basketball memories were for me. I want to give a quick shout out to my great group of friends who could be here tonight. Rob McQueary and the Marion Star for covering these memorable moments. I want to thank Carol Bebout. We've been in touch a lot lately, and you've just been such a great person that I know. I want to thank the Twine family, my second family, T4L. Thank you guys for being here as well. I want to thank my former coaches, especially Greg Knopfs, Bill Sykes, Jill Hecker, Jeff Ratliff, John Ratliff, sorry, all of the coaches who have helped mold me into the player that I am throughout the years. I appreciate all of you. I definitely want to say congrats to Heidi, Sarah, Brene, and Scott, and Sean, my twin brother and best friend. I am extremely proud of you, and although you're also receiving similar acknowledgement tonight, I feel it's only right to dedicate my award to you. We have been through everything together, and I cannot imagine taking on this great accomplishment without you by my side. This moment is even more so rewarding that you're also being recognized tonight too. Your hard work, relentless work ethic is unmatched. And for that, I hope you can take the time to sit down and smell the roses, because you deserve it. I guess all those times I've beaten you on the hardwood has paid off, so you are very welcome for that. So far, what I've taken from this milestone is how fast time flies. Graduating high school 13 years ago just seems so surreal. I still replay the moment when I hit the game-winning bucket against our rival school, Findlay, who had Carly Roethlisberger on the team. I was very intimidated at the time. I was just a freshman, but hearing those loud cheers in the student section and earning the name Freshman Phenom, that's something I'll always remember. I still remember how my middle school basketball coaches, Jill Hecker and John Ratliff, made basketball fun for me. Oddly enough, I thought I was going to be a cheerleader for the rest of my life, but my height, basketball was the way to go. I remember getting my first letter of intent from the University of Temple in 8th grade, and I thought, okay, maybe I need to take this basketball thing seriously. So I decided, me and my mom got together, we just put our heads together and decided to make a plan from there. Let's see here. I want to thank all of my coaches that helped ingrain in my brain that I was special early on. Mike Daniels, he found me at the 3-on-3 Gus Macker tournament and allowed me to join his AAU team. And that was one of the best things he ever could have done. I was able to travel all over the country doing what I love because of him and was able to get to the exposure that I needed. My mom made so many sacrifices back then that I was unaware of at the time how much she put into my basketball journey. Putting all those miles on her car to drive me to AAU tournaments, a single mother of 4, you really are the GOAT. And all I had to do was sit in the passenger seat, crank the tunes, take my occasional car nap, enjoy the ride. The funny thing is, I was always late to those events. My mom would rush me out of the car and say, "Get your shoes on, go, hurry up." And that's what I did. Never had any time to warm up, but Mike Daniels would just be like, "Hey, you ready?" I guess so. So didn't have to warm up and just started playing. So I like to thank Mike Daniels especially because he saw something in me early on that I didn't see in myself. One of the best college coaches in women's basketball, Jeff Walls, sitting in my living room telling me how great of a player I was. Who would have thought? A tall, lanky, skinny, shy girl from Marion, Ohio could achieve so much. Basketball has taken me many places and to many countries across the globe. But it all started here in the 740. Being a part of Marion Harding High School athletics truly helped mold me into the person I am today. Surely the accolades, awards, trophies, accomplishments, or even hitting the game winner baskets were great, but you know what the best part of those memories were? The community, my community, especially those that followed me in my journey and supported me long after high school. What a great village we have here in Marion. I want to end my expression of gratitude by reading this quote I found that resonated with me. It takes a village to raise a child, but equally, it takes that village to nurture us as adults. Life is cyclical. That could not be more true. So again, I cannot thank my family, my friends, and the Marion community enough for allowing me the honor to accept this award tonight. You all have been the finest village a woman could have. Go Prexies.
Shantae Dyer, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Now I'd like to introduce Misty Starks, who will present Brene Harris.
All right. First, I want to congratulate all the Hall of Famers tonight. What an honor and achievement it is to be selected into the Hall of Fame. For most, it is the dream of every high school and collegiate athlete to someday be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and today that dream comes true for all of you. As a competitor, it's in your nature to want to shatter records and be remembered as one of the best. But for B, she never had any interest in a ceremony, recognition, or self-promotion. Coaching alongside her, I remember getting so frustrated when I would have to spend hours and days trying to figure out if one of our players had broke a record that she held from her playing days. I remember saying, B, how don't you know your own records? This is ridiculous. But to B, it was never about that. Records, stats, and accolades never mattered to B. She played the game because that was simply nothing she loved to do more. The aspect to learn the art of the game was mesmerizing to her. Her parents can vouch for this. B could spend all day and night in the gym if she was allowed to. She simply just loved the game of basketball. Because of this, she started participating in track to stay in shape for the game she loved, and she just happened to be such a phenomenal athlete that we are here tonight inducting her into the Hall of Fame for her achievements in track as well. If I had to choose one word to describe B's career as an athlete and a coach, it would be confidence. I remember as a kid growing up next to B, our dads would always have us at Garfield Park shooting on those dang double rims. Mind you, I was slightly older than B, so even as a tiny, scrawny kid, she'd come to the court ready to put in work and let the whole park know she was a hooper. Fast forward to B's middle school days. As a young 7th and 8th grader, she was so talented and would be invited to play at our high school open gyms, and let me tell you, confidence is an understatement. She wasn't scared to go against us older players and score on our heads, as she likes to say, and scoring on the high schoolers was never enough for her. She had to make sure after every bucket she screamed AI, referring to Allen Iverson, in your ear as she passes you, jogging back down the court. I remember asking her big sister, Brene, who was my teammate at the time, man, why you always gotta bring your annoying little sister? Brene knew she was good, and she was confident she could play with anyone. But with all that confidence and dedication to the sport came leadership. As a player and a coach, the entire group believed in her ability to get the job done. She's a teacher of the game and a leader by example. Not only did she exude confidence as a player, teammate, and a coach, but she has inspired others with her work ethic and her indomitable competitive spirit. So everyone, I know we're here because of what B was able to accomplish as an athlete on the track and on the basketball court, but I'm here to speak on my friend's behalf on what kind of person she is. When I was called up to coach at Harding for the girls' basketball team, I knew exactly who I wanted to coach with me. Then after hearing that she was heading to coach at Pleasant, I knew she must be a little troubled and sick in the head. But regardless, I had to have her even more. After some convincing bribery and threats, we agreed to take the team on together, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. Day in and day out, we laughed together until we couldn't breathe, cried together, cracked jokes together, not just about you, Kearns. We learned from one another, and we made history together. We were hired together, and we came close several times to being fired together. But more importantly, I gained a lifelong friend. I quickly learned that B has a heart of gold. Who she is as an athlete can never compare to who she is as a person. She has a joyful spirit, and she loves to laugh and make light of stressful situations. From her dance moves to her fashion style, B knows how to put on a show, and it's hard not to love her. She's a comedian at heart and genuinely a good person. When I knew I would be speaking about B at this induction, the first person I reached out to was her college coach, Coach Cullop from Toledo, that she thinks so highly of. And B, Coach wanted me to read off a special message from her to you. Brene, I'm happy that you are deservedly being inducted into your high school Hall of Fame. Coaching you at Toledo was such an honor. Your high basketball IQ, terrific skill level, and your competitiveness, coupled with your outstanding leadership and charismatic personality, made you a joy to coach. My only regret is that I didn't coach you longer. You make everyone around you better. Congratulations, I'm proud of you, B. Love you, Coach Cullop. From her family to her friends, her teammates, and her coaches, B has touched so many people's lives. And today, with affection and pride, there's no place I'd rather be than here, because I'm honored to present you, my friend, on this day of induction to the Marion Harding High School Hall of Fame. Congrats, B.
Okay. I was hoping they would let me go last so I could drop the mic. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone here tonight who has come to show their support. Thank you for the Hall of Fame committee for inducting me. It's truly an honor, and I am humbled. Many of you have been here since day one on this journey, so before I get to the award, I want to thank the ones who truly made it possible. Mom and Dad, this is going to be short because I don't want to cry. Thank you for being the most supportive parents a child could be blessed with. My parents saw the passion that I have for basketball at a young age. They saw a passion growing in me, and they did everything that they could to make sure I reached my goals and my full potential. They invested so much of their time, effort, and energy into making sure that my dreams come true that I could never in a million years repay you. Thank you, Mom and Dad. To my sister, thank you for always being my best friend. In high school, it might have been my piggy bank. Can I get $1? Can I get $1? Even when you were forced to be my best friend, and you couldn't go out with your friends unless I went. We've now grown into being each other's backbones, and I literally wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Thank you for all of the love and support that you continually give me on a daily basis. Thank you, sister. Okay, I want to say a thank you to all of the people in the community who have supported. I know we've shared car rides with the Dyers to AAU tournaments to get there on time or to not. I want to say thank you for Coach Sykes for allowing a freshman player to show what they have as a freshman and play varsity. Thank you, Coach Dyer, who, when my parents couldn't take me to visits because they were working when I transferred, you drove me to my visits, and I'm forever indebted and thankful for that. Carol Bebout, thank you for always being probably my #1 supporter here. Always encouraging, beautiful spirit, beautiful personality, and I'm forever grateful for you. Thank you. Coach Pitts, I know I caused more havoc than anything, but thank you for supporting me and believing in me and taking me to state. I truly appreciate that. None of this would be possible without all of you guys. To the basketball. To me, playing basketball was at first simply something I truly enjoyed. I loved playing basketball. No, like I really loved playing basketball. to the point that the main thing that I got in trouble for those days was not being in before the street lights came on, because I was at Garfield Park trying to perfect a move I saw Iverson do on SportsCenter earlier that day. After high school, when I found out I was going to the University of Michigan on a full ride, the passion and drive only continued to grow. I had a few setbacks with injuries, having to sit out a year, transferring, but it honestly only motivated me. Not to prove to anyone else that I deserved to be there, but to prove to myself that I deserved to be there. I finished my career at Toledo, and I was able to pursue an overseas career, professional career in Spain for 2 years, and I'm forever thankful and blessed because of it. See, I think sometimes we think of the game of basketball or sports in general as one-dimensional. We see the playing part. I mean, yeah, some days are the worst or hardest days of your life, and I know you all can attest to that. For example, after Sarah ran the 4x4 and track, she would immediately have to be stretched because she had cramps. The first time I saw that, I was thinking, nah, Mom and Dad, this ain't for me. Some days you want to quit. Some days you want to give up. Some days you're thinking, is this even worth it? It'll take you to a point where you're just mentally and physically exhausted. But then, if you continue to be consistent, the results are there. And then just like that, the results started to show up. You see, basketball has taught me so many things like discipline, accountability, and a work ethic. It has allowed me to travel around the world, meet some of the most amazing people I have ever met, eat some of the most amazing food I have ever eaten. And that isn't even a fraction of where it has taken me or what it has given me, but they said I had a time limit, so I'm gonna keep it short. But those principles that I mentioned earlier are forever instilled in us, and we are all the better because of it. I only pray that at least one child was inspired from my journey. One girl was shown that she too can accomplish anything she put her mind to. See, me, it was never about what can basketball do for me. It was always, what can I do for basketball? How can I contribute to the world doing something that I love so much? When God gives you a talent, it's only right that you give out, it's only right that we give out knowledge and experience, that we give our knowledge and experience back to the youth and the future generations with what He has given us. Congratulations to you all. This isn't a small accomplishment. Let's continue to make history in our own paths. Thank you, everybody.
Brene Harris, microphone. Brene Harris, welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Ty Bolden, who will present Sarah Woodrum.
So Brene said I was fancy, and I'm like, no, I'm old. I have bad eyes, so I have to have this big screen in front of me. So I am Sarah's oldest brother. I'm also told many times I'm her best-looking brother. Sorry, guys. Mom agrees. She's nodding. But like to thank the Harding High School Hall of Fame Committee. You guys do a great job here. I've been to these before, and I know you guys put a lot of time and effort into this. A lot of schools don't have this, so it's a great thing you guys do. Congrats to all the inductees. I think at one point I watched you guys all compete because you're around the ages of my brothers and sisters, so you guys are phenomenal and had phenomenal careers, and it's definitely a great honor for you guys. So one of the things that I guess I have a good perspective on is I've known Sarah her whole life. From a young age, she showed phenomenal athletic ability. But not only that, she showed a killer instinct whenever she competed and a toughness. I don't know if that comes from having a single mother of 5 who's the strongest woman I've ever met raise her, or having 4 brothers and her being the only sister. She probably got picked on her fair share growing up by all of us. I know we chanted Sarah Lee quite a bit until she would cry, but maybe that made her tougher. I don't know. She also had, she grew up in a shadow of 2 brothers that were phenomenal runners. My brother Drew was a 400 runner at Pleasant and a state champion. Our brother Matthew was a district champion and a great distance runner at Harding. I didn't mention myself because I set the bar very low when it came to track and field. I think that's why Mom said, maybe you should play basketball because you can't run. She was good at multiple sports as a child. Softball, basketball, running. I know Mom probably broke a lot of softball coaches' hearts when she said she will never play softball. She's a runner. But she started running AAU Junior Olympic meets at a very, very young age. And we could see that that's where probably her direction was, but she loved playing basketball. I remember in junior high school, they merged, I believe it was her 8th grade, from 7th to 8th grade, they merged the junior high school at Grant, and Sarah's big thing was, I better keep all my teammates. I don't want to play with other girls. And, but I think she loved that camaraderie of having the teammates. Track is a team sport, but there's a lot of individual running, so she really embraced the part of having teammates that she was close to. She did earn 2 varsity letters in basketball and played on great teams with Brene and Shantae. I believe they were they went to the regional semifinals. And then her senior year, played a little bit more. They had a good team. They were 20-4. She was named second team all GBC and all district. When looking over her stats, though, something I did see, 4 for 36 from 3-point. That's 11%. So I'll chalk that up to bad coaching. Evan Dyer, Greg Knopfs, come on, man. You gotta stop her. She was a defender, not a shooter. I could say that. Evan's my brother-in-law, so I can give him hell. But yeah, cross country. She never lost a cross country race in junior high school. Multiple times she set meet records. She was an AAU national qualifier as a youth in cross country. Mom and I made the trek to Ames in the grandparents' van. That was a nice trip. And also as a freshman set her PR in cross country at a 19:57. I don't think she ever ran after that, though. I think that was too much of a distance for her. But that still ranks 6th all time in Harding history. And then getting on to track in junior high school, multiple time MVP at meets, set meet records, school records. Only lost 1 race the whole time she was a runner in junior high school. And then her freshman year, started off running the 800 in relays. I'll take the blame on that. I might have pushed her into an 800 because I thought, she's got endurance, she's got speed, she could do that. But that wasn't really her thing. And then her sophomore year went into the 400, which was obviously her race. Tons of success in that. Conference championships. She ran on a lot of great relays as well. Again, had a lot of great teammates in that time, running the 4x2, 4x8, 4x4. I believe she was on a school record team in the 4x8 that still stands. In her sophomore year, she qualified in the 4x2, 4x8, 400, placed 3rd in the regional meet, qualified for the state meet her first time, and I think at that state meet, she kind of saw how tough it was to compete there. I believe that's the year you had to run against Jessica Beard, where she set the state record at a 51.63, which is just a phenomenal time. Then her junior year, she bumped into running the 200 as well, so ran the 4 and the 2. That was the first year she got a district championship her junior year. And again, qualified for the state. Senior year, great successes as well. She was the Marion Night Invitational runner-up in the 4x1, 4x2, won the one with a school record of, I believe, a 12.49. So, Sean, can we get that fixed? It's saying 12.5 up there. 12.55, 12.49. I'm messing with you. I know I harassed you for years about that. And then qualified again for regionals in the 1, the 4x1. And at that regional meet, I can remember driving there with Mom, and her times were a little off. She'd already committed to Toledo at the time, and we thought maybe, I don't know if she can get lower, she needs to get lower. And at that regional meet, I remember she just really dropped it and went down to a 55.91, which is a school record. And anybody that has ran track or knows track, it's a ridiculous time for a girl to run in high school, a 55. That'll win you some dual meets as a guy. So very, very impressive. At the end of the day, she was a 10-time regional qualifier, and across the board, what she qualified in is kind of insane. From a 100 all the way up to running an 800 race. You don't see that type of versatility, and that's just a testament to the type of runner she was. From then, she went on to go to Toledo and run, got a full ride scholarship there. And something that also speaks to the toughness Sarah had, in the time she was doing this all throughout high school, our youngest brother, Nathan, was diagnosed with T-cell lymphoma, and he fought cancer all through the time she was running. She made multiple trips down after practices to go visit him in Columbus at Children's Hospital. Nathan's been in remission for 15 years, so we're thankful for that. But Sarah was, thank you. Sarah received the OSHA Courageous Athlete Award her senior year for that. When she went to Toledo, she still holds some top times in some of the events she ran there, and went through injuries, a lot of coaching changes, but still ran her whole time there. And as I wrap it up, bear with me because I'm going to try to get through this. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention two of Sarah's biggest fans couldn't be here today. Our grandparents, Bob and Catherine Ferguson. They came to all the meets with me and Mom for years, and they were her biggest fans, and I know that they are very proud of her today. Also, I was only given one sister, but I was given the greatest sister I could ever ask for. She's amazed me in every phase of her life, being a standout athlete, a great mother to Reagan, and a great wife to Nick. And if you know Nick, you know that that is a great accomplishment. Only got you with one, Nick. Be grateful. Sarah, congrats on your well-deserved induction into the Marion High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Bubby. That made me a little emotional, so I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out this evening to support myself and all the inductees tonight. A special thank you to my husband, my friends, and family for all coming out tonight for this huge moment in my life. Let me say what an honor it is to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I looked at that wall many times in my career here at Harding, and to know that I could one day possibly inspire someone the same way gives my induction even more purpose. I think where my love of competition started was simply by growing up with four brothers. We played every backyard and street game you can think of. And let me tell you, in my household, just because I was the only girl did not mean they would let me win. I had to be good enough and fast enough if I wanted to win. and that taught me a huge life lesson. And for that, I would like to say thank you, Ty, Drew, Matthew, and Nathan. To my mother, Carla, she is my #1 fan. She helped my competitive spirit grow by taking me all over to AAU junior track meets as a little girl. I can remember the nerves and excitement from winning races so young. For sure, a fuel to my love for track. From the time I started AAU up until my last college meet, I swear to you, when I was on the track, my mother is the only person I could ever hear screaming at the top of her lungs from the blocks to the finish line for me. She was my biggest fan, and I would not be successful in my sports career without her making sure I had every opportunity to do so, even though she had a full plate. Thank you, Mom. I love you. Oof. In my athletic career here at Marion City School System, every coach I had, I loved. The mentoring and the advice that each one of you gave me molded me into a better athlete every year and helped me become so successful. Coach Knopf, Coach Kearns, Coach Dyer, Coach Sykes, Coach Pitts, I would like to say thank you for each one of you for sacrificing your time to make me a better athlete. And to every coach who gave me the time and opportunity, I appreciate it so much. I would like to say a special thanks to my track coach, Marsha Pitts. From my freshman year to senior year, I thank you for the endless hours of your time you gave me in practice and track meets. You took time to learn my running style and to know how to get me to peak at my performances when I really needed to at the end of season. I would not have had success without that dedication from you, and I thank you for that. It's an honor to be up here tonight with former teammates. These girls that I played with, Shantae and Brene, made me a better basketball player, although I did not know my 11% stat. But I appreciate you girls for making basketball fun and making me a better athlete and going through all the tough days and good days with me. It's an honor to be up here with all of you. I have memories from watching Sean play. He's an amazing basketball player. And Heidi, while I do not know you personally, I did used to see you running all over Marion. I just hope that while my daughter won't remember this night, one day I can take her down that hall and show her my plaque on the wall and that she will be proud of me. Thank you all so much. This is such a great honor.
Sarah Woodrum, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Now I'd like to introduce Brett McQueary, who will present his father, Scott.
So here we go, last one, right? So thanks a lot. I wanted to take a moment first to congratulate tonight's honorees. All of you are people that I've watched compete over the years, and if I didn't have you in class, or I certainly would have attended your ball games or maybe called them over the PA, and it maybe been to a meet that you ran in or swam in, and I can say that your inclusion in this prestigious club is certainly well-deserved, so I congratulate each and every one of you. It's awesome. You know, I've been a bit worried about this speech since my dad, Scott McQueary, was elected. I think that after telling this story, you'll agree that I find myself between the proverbial rock and a hard place. You see, I was worried that when my time came to introduce my dad, that I'd spend half my time up here bawling. And I think there might be a couple people in the audience that are hoping I do for their own amusement and entertainment. Might even be a couple of beverages on the line and a side bet, so I don't know. Knowing that, though, I spent some time thinking about my 8th grade English teacher. I went to Baker Middle School, and my English teacher was Bob Webb. I don't know, any of you might remember Mr. Webb. Mr. Webb was a fantastic guy, and his energy and enthusiasm was an inspiration to all his students. And I remember very distinctly Mr. Webb telling us that if we were ever asked to speak in public, or if we found ourselves nervous or a bit scared, that we should stand with our knees slightly bent, that our shoulders should be relaxed, we should look out confidently on the audience and picture them all naked. Let me just tell you, woof, Sean, woof. Now, the only thing is, in doing that, I can't help but think my fellow speakers trying to win over their own nerves in the same fashion. And that means that during their time up here on the microphone, I was the one sitting in the audience, and they might have to imagine me in my birthday suit. And that makes me want to start bawling. So here I am, stuck between that rock and a hard place, between crying because I'm emotional and crying because I feel so bad for my fellow speakers. I guess I'm doomed. But nonetheless, I'm going to give it a go here and do my best. My dad taught me how to love Harding High School. Some of my earliest memories are Friday night road trips to places like Lorraine and Mansfield and Lima, sitting in the back seat of my dad's 84 Chevette hatchback, listening to him and Jesse Hines swap stories about a handful of guys who are now in the Hall of Fame, all members themselves. My dad's fellow graduate, 69, Dave Merchant, basketball coach Dan Baker, and of course, probably the main reason there is a Hall of Fame in the first place, the wonderful Greg Swepston. You know, I don't know how it is that I could be born in 1976, but be able to tell you about the night in 1967 when Bubbles Harris from Lorraine went for 50 in the old Harding gym, despite Dan Baker saying, "By God, that'll never happen to our team." But it did. I also don't have any idea how I would know that Dave Merchant's favorite shot was from atop the key where there was no three-point line. How else could I possibly know that Coach Swepston drove a brand new sports car in 1969 and one time said to Harding legend, Hall of Famer and minor league pitcher for the Indians, Harry Fry, he said, "Yeah, sure, Harry, you can ride with me to the ball games if you make the team." You know, I grew up hearing stories about the exploits of Harding athletes, and these guys were my heroes. My dad never believed that he belonged there with them, but tonight he joins them forever. From football games to basketball games, track meets, and just about everything in between, Dad has been there. You know, it's quite a thing when you look back at the last 38 years and can say with total seriousness and know exactly where you were on each and every Friday night between the last of August and the 1st of October. My dad can do that. He served on the chain gang for more than 20 years, was the voice of the presidents at home basketball games for nearly another 20. He's been in press boxes and on top of them. He's been on sidelines and at scorers' tables. The man has lived Harding sports. And I'm betting that if you've been to a game or two, you've seen him there. You know, he's coached softball at Harding for the last 20-plus seasons. And now that I'm the head softball coach here, you can only imagine, those of you that know me and know us, can only imagine what those meetings are like. Just remind yourselves, or don't ever get stuck trying to ask both of us at the same time who you think ought to be the cutoff man on a ball deep right field. You'd be in a lot of trouble. Be prepared for the hard-headed World War III, right? During his time coaching, I can honestly say that he's been as successful as anyone in making his teams better. Not one time in all his years of coaching has a team of his been worse at the end of the year than it was at the beginning. His commitment to fundamentals and to creating a fun and disciplined culture has served as an inspiration to many of our school's current and former head coaches, myself certainly included. The countless selfless hours that he dedicated to this school and to the children of this community was never about tonight. He never did it for this. He did it because he loved it. He does it because he thought he could help. And for that very reason, he belongs here. Now, he's going to get up here in a few minutes, and he's going to tell you all about how he doesn't deserve to be here. Right, Rob? But rest assured, Dad, your place is secure. Most of those whose picture will hang beside yours did their feats over just 3 or 4 years as teenagers. You have dedicated your life to this place. In my mind, I say to them, it is in fact they who should feel privileged to be enshrined next to you. Congratulations, Pops. I got you.
Thank you, son. I want to congratulate all of you. You're great athletes. And you might not know me, but I saw every one of you play. I saw all of you play. And you were great, great athletes. My athletic ability goes to about 3 years of Harding baseball, and I might have played 6 games. So I rode the pines, but I still love this place. There was nowhere else I would rather be than at this school. It has been such a great honor to do what I've done. And the people I'd like to thank, the late Greg Swepston, who got me started in the volunteering and this type of stuff, in the football, and the basketball, the track. For the bowling coaches, I want to thank Ernie Indo and Corey Chapman for keeping me around and letting me help with the bowling team. And I'll tell you, the bowling has been really good the last 5 or 6 years. To the softball, which like he said, I've done for 20 years, all those girls, I love every one of them. And to thank Sean, Mike Lindsay, and Rose Cunningham. Those were the head coaches that I coached under. I want to thank them for keeping me around. And you people out there, you don't realize the work that these people and these athletes put in every day. I saw it. I went to these practices. I filmed football practices. I watched how hard those coaches worked, how hard those boys worked. And I'm sure it's the same with these girls. I don't at times think we understand what they go through every day. But they do, and they do it for the love of the game. They don't get any money out of that. They do it because they love it. And the coaches here, they don't make millions of dollars. It probably costs them more to coach than it does what they earn. So the next time you want to complain about a coach or an athlete, think about that. They do it for the love, and that's what it's all about. And that's why I help here, is because I love this school and I love those athletes. And I'm going to make it real quick. Thank you all. This is the greatest honor that I've ever had. I would like to thank my family, too. My wife, Laura, my daughter, Megan, my sons, Matt and Brett, because they knew from late August to early May, 4, 5, 6 days a week, I'd be either at the stadium, at the bowling alley, or at the high school. And they put up with it. And I appreciate that, too. So this award is as much theirs as it is mine. So, again, thank you.
Great job, buddy. I love you.
Scott McQueary, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Before we close here this evening, I want to remind you, when Mr. Gormflow came up earlier, he said there was going to be a raffle drawing. Now's the time. Do you want to come up and do this, or are you just going to... Yep. We'll let him come up on stage, and we'll do the raffle drawing here real quick. Hold on a second.
That's why I handed it
Getting
to you.
old, I can't see it.
What they do, smudge the ink?
Imagine that. Brett McQueary.
The half of the pot was $70, and Brett had already indicated that if he won, he wants to donate that back to the Swepston Fund. So thanks, Brett.
To everyone up here tonight on the stage, I want to thank you for the memories. Congratulate you again on this wonderful honor. I also want to remind everyone that we're going to head over to Cooper's Bowl for some further memories and reminiscing. I look forward to some conversations about the good old days. Again, Cooper's Bowl is behind the old Marion Mall on the south end of town. It's a really nice addition on the venue there. So I hope to see everybody over there tonight. I thank you for coming, and once again, congratulations, class of 2023.